I think the statute of limitations is up on this, and I can go ahead and say it. When YouTube's original programming grant, they had this $100 million that they were like, we're going to make high quality content on YouTube. We have a problem, like they saw this as like as an issue with the platform. We don't have enough stuff that looks polished and fancy. Unilever and Johnson & Johnson are looking at this and they're saying, this doesn't look like something we'd like our ads next to. So we need to make YouTube look shinier. And so they were going to put $100 million into this. And we got an email, and it was like, okay, so here's the situation. And they didn't say this, but this was clearly the gist of it. We put together this $100 million, and we decided to give all of that money away, and we didn't ask any YouTubers. We only asked Hollywood production companies, and we have gotten feedback that is going to be seen as very negative in the community. And I'm like, you think? Yeah. Oh, I'm shocked to hear that people might find that as.
But honestly, that sounds like some good self-awareness from the get-go. Sometimes they struggle with that even today.
Yeah. So they were like, you have a week, put together a deck. And so like we got that email, and I think Rhett and Link and the Fine brothers and Philip DeFranco got that email, and a few other people got that email. And we put together a deck in a week. And I had a list of like 30 shows. And they were everything from model trains to Pilates. Like I was going just spray and pray, like anything. Yeah. And John was like, okay, what are we good at? And at that point, we'd done some educational stuff on the Vlogbrothers channel because, as I said, I think earlier in the podcast, like when you've been doing, like when you have to do it every week, you just do whatever. And so I did a video on the circulatory system once because I didn't have another idea that week. And like my undergrad is in biochemistry. I have a MS in environmental studies. I'm overeducated. Also, I knew that we were going to keep getting older and that we would be less cool as time went on. And so like one thing you can be less cool at and still succeed at is educational stuff. It's
very thoughtful of you to think of that when, you're in your 20s. Yeah,
I was very aware. Yeah. Well, first of all, first year on YouTube, I was 27. So I was married. I had a job. I had other jobs. Like I'd had almost a whole career already, in that millennial way where it's like, you're 27, you've gone through your first career already. So I'm barely not a millennial. I think it depends on how you count.
I'm like on the other side of the spectrum with 94. Yeah. Cause I was 94 and I think it starts at 95.
Yeah. And then I think that like there's also the social good component where it's like, if we're going to get $1 million from YouTube, like what's the right thing to do with it? And we didn't get $1 million for one show. And we pitched two. We said, we'd like here's SciShow. It's like science news. It's like looking back. It's like profiling science, like historic scientists and just like interesting science stuff. And here's Crash Course. And it's like pretty, like it's very clearly attempting to help teachers and students with current curricula in the US. So one is sort of more like pop and, like clickbait. Crash Course is unlike every YouTube channel I've ever made in that most of the views come in the like years after it gets uploaded. Like Crash Course Engineering was getting 20,000 views a video when it was uploaded. And now all of those videos have more than 1 million views. It's just search. People are like, I am taking this class now. No one wants to watch a video about physics for on Tuesday. They want to watch a video about physics the day before the test. And we can see in our graph, on our viewership graph,
like midterms
when
and stuff.
AP tests are. Yeah. It's just like, whoop, I guess it's AP week. And then for years of running Crash Course, I'd always get really worried. I'd see like our viewership was crashing and I'm like, what's happening? It's summer. The kids aren't in school. This channel is different. So we pitched both of those ideas and YouTube said yes to both. And that was, and we almost didn't say yes to that because we didn't have any infrastructure. John and I think at that point had both hired an assistant and that was it. Like we had a person who was like helping us with email and We hired extremely overqualified people to help us with email, though. So it turned out that both of those guys, had hired and fired. They had done production. Like Stan had done production before. Michael Gardner had run businesses. He was the executive director of a nonprofit before I hired him as my assistant. So did they just
want to be close to the action, this new YouTube thing?
I think that's part of it. Like, that was part of it. I think part of it was like, for Michael, that nonprofit that he was executive directing, couldn't afford him, basically. And he recognized that, and he was like, I want to be on your board. I don't think I should be your ED. And so he took this opportunity. And I interviewed 2 people for that position. And I had 3 people in the final applicant pool. And one of them was Emily Grassley, who went on to host the Brain Scoop and now works at the Chicago Field Museum, and is a big YouTuber. So like at that point, she was just a grad student, or maybe even just undergrad. So she would have killed it if I had hired her. And the other guy I hired, I got him into my house because I did the interviews in my living room, and I was like, this guy, I'm scared to have him in my home. So I got very lucky.
Things basically. To think about. Yeah. When running a business out of your home. Because YouTube was that in the beginning. There wasn't this pressure, but all of a sudden, I guess when you get funding from YouTube, that changes things.
So we went from basically 0 employees to our first 2 hires, and then those 2 hires helped us hire the next 6 to 8 people, and that is the team that we did Crash Course in SciShow with that first year.
Amazing.